yeah, so the official gameplay trailer had a little clip, a little preview of single player campaign. If you haven't seen it, here it is.
Those looking for a story-driven experience will feel right at home in our single-player campaigns. In these adventures, you'll explore the world of The Witcher, expand your card resources, train your army, and forge your own path through a branching storyline created by the writers of The Witcher 3. But that's a tale for another time.
So that is pretty much the entire preview there. But we can slow it down and have a look, and I'll discuss some of the things. So this
like any other.
this has like a storyteller, very story driven. It tells a tale of something. I think a narrator tells a story, and then you go into the in this case Geralt, and it's presented in this sort of way with like still card art which moves slightly and stuff like that.
Those looking for a
It's really
story-driven
good.
experience will feel right at home.
You get like when action happens, you get action shots like a comic strip like this, and that's Falibor, and that's I can't remember his name, something like Torina or something, is it? And that's I can't remember her name. Falibor down there. She's a she-elf apparently.
Home in our single-player campaigns.
There's a lot of choices. This I know. Vesemir say we should stay out of it, but we don't have much choice, do we, Roach? They need our help, so there you go. There's a little hint there.
In these adventures,
And so this is how it looks. This is I've always said it looks a bit like Diablo mixed with a bit of, where you move around the world with an avatar. And so as you can see that you're moving around the world with Geralt. Now it's quite exploratory. Now this beginning one might be a little bit linear, as you can see here, but other ones will be exploratory. So for example, you can't see because my head's in the way, but if you go down like here, for example, there's a little rock and there's a boat. So if you go down there, you'd get some sort of event happen most likely, or something like that. And that could be that you gain a card. It could be that you fight a game of Gwent against something. And every game of Gwent is within the world of this story. So it's not like, oh, someone's challenged you to a game of Gwent. It's you've been ambushed by some bear and like you fight a game of Gwent, which is your army versus bear. Now that sounds silly, but the way they do the actual matches on the single player is like amazing. You're going to be absolutely completely blown away by the way they do it, and I'll talk on that a little bit in a minute when we go to the next screen. But we've seen the challenges now for the single player Gwent where you get the leader cards, and I personally don't think they're that amazing. They're not very good. You're playing against an AI which is generally quite bad. I mean, King Bran discards Sigurdrifa and 2 priestesses, which is just weird. So they're not necessarily great AIs, and it is just a little bit of tediousness. Feels like you should be able to play the cards that you're trying to learn, maybe play against it, play with it, that type of thing. But so those challenges are not really that interesting of Gwent matches. But the single player is like, oh my god, they have really pushed the boat out for these particular matches. So I think you'll be very excited about that.
adventures, you'll explore the world of The Witcher.
So here we saw that he walked up to this particular shrine here and he was able to interact with it. Now I think it does actually change screen here, but you do have like a quest, like a whole story, and your story here is to escort Falibor's group through the forest. You seem to have some sort of resources which we'll get onto later. It has a day-night cycle as well. It's a bit weird.
Of The Witcher.
So yeah, it looked like it was going to something. The eldest sees all. So it looks like you're going to get a form of dialogue about the event here, and then something will happen. You get some sort of choice. There will be choices in the system in the single player game. Okay, and then, at certain points you gain new cards. This is a prime example. A silver card, 7 strength. Looks like Falibor there. Your army has grown stronger. A new card has been added to your deck. You can now use it during battle. So your single player repertoire of cards is limited, and it's completely different to your multiplayer. Cards are completely different. They're overpowered on purpose, so you fight against people that are overpowered. New interesting mechanics which are really fun. And as you progress through the game, you are able to gain cards and lose cards and try and build your deck. And it's based on your choices as well, which is really nice.
Your card resources, train your army.
So the next screen is this one, which looks like a camp upgrade system where you can purchase new cards. So the Tridem Archer here is a 4-strength bronze unit, goes on the range row, and its ability is very unique. Deal damage to a non-gold opposing unit equal to the amount of units on your melee row. The idea is to spam melee units, and then you place this guy down, and you can do 8 damage with a bronze card. That is quite powerful. That might be multiplayer okay, because you have to spam loads of melee units anyway. But these are not really intended to be multiplayer. You may see an incarnation of them in multiplayer, but yeah, they're overpowered cards here. You seem to have a currency which really makes you invested into the particular campaign, and it seems like you can upgrade your training grounds, and this is something you have to decide whether to do, whether you've got enough currency. I assume that's exploration wise and quests, and maybe you can haggle or something, making different choices, different crossroads. Seems like you can go for Skellige and Northern Realms here, and here, which might mean, that one's got like a triangle on it, and that one's got like a bit extra. So looks like you can choose to upgrade certain things, and maybe if you choose a Skellige, you get different types of cards than if you went Northern Realms. So it looks like there's a lot of replayability in this game, because text choices make long-lasting consequences, and you can upgrade this differently and try and play differently next time you play through, which is really cool. I like that. It just adds a little bit of RPG element to this Gwent campaign.
Army and
Again, this is an example of the the choice system. We've got Geralt here, which is your main character. You've got Malian, Torina, which I think I was right, Balibor as well. Witcher, it's a shame to ask, but we need an escort. We'll pay you handsomely to get us across to Malibor safely. I agree, need your help. This looks like the very beginning, so I don't think you can actually disagree with this. Don't purchase it if you don't want to do it. But yeah, so these are the main characters, and they're presented when they talk like this. They highlight and they darken when whoever's talking.
Your own path.
And apparently these make long-lasting effects. And it's written by the same guys who did like the Bloody Baron quest line, so that should excite you as well.
A branching storyline created by the writers of The Witcher 3.
Like I said, it's done in a very storyteller style, so this is where this comes from. Yeah. So, I've been saying this for a long time, but finally I've got some visual aids to help demonstrate what I think, how great the single-player campaign will be for Gwent. It's going to be 8 hours long or so, and I really just need to emphasize how great the matches, the actual Gwent matches will be. They won't, just be like the challenges that we've seen. I think that's the most thing that, if you get anything away from this, it's how good the matches will be, how interesting they'll be, how fun they'll be, how engaging and stuff. It's just hyping it up. Hype!